Around 15% of all British workers are self-employed. Under the new tax change announced yesterday, more than half of them will lose out. Higher and middle earners will be hardest hit. Our economics editor Kamal Ahmed has been looking at the numbers.
Hairdressers, builders, minicab drivers, well-paid management consultants, the growing 5 million strong army of the self-employed. They tend to pay less tax, and the Treasury doesn't much like that. I asked the man charged by Theresa May with investigating the new world of work whether Philip Hammond was right to impose an increase in national insurance contributions on those who work for themselves.
Tax rises are never popular, but as tax rises go, this is pretty fair, it's economically rational, and it strengthens the long-term resilience of the tax base. So if you're going to increase taxes, this is a pretty good way to do it.
Mr. Hammond has talked about fairness. So what are the differences between being employed directly by a company and being self-employed? For employed people, there's the issue of rights at work. They receive parental leave, sick pay and holiday pay. If you are self-employed, you receive none of these rights. And let's look at income. At present, an employed person on about £25,000 a year would pay national insurance of £1,970. For a self-employed person, that insurance payment falls to £1,630. After this new tax increase, that payment will rise to £1,810. That means that the tax gap between the employed and the self-employed has narrowed.
Self-employed people earning less than £15,000 or £16,000 a year are actually going to be better off. The biggest hit will be about £580 a year by 2019 for people earning more than about £40,000.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
the self-employed aren't the only people facing a tax increase. This is Kelly Gilmour-Grassam, who runs her own writing business. She takes some of her income in dividends from her shares in the company. The government is going to ask her and over 1 million other investors with shares to pay more tax.
For people that might be thinking of making the leap to being a freelancer or setting up a small business, it might make them think twice if, this is just the one budget and we've already had quite a lot of changes. So if you can imagine what might happen next year or the year after, it's setting a culture of discouragement for entrepreneurship.
But what about the employers of the self-employed? They also gain by, for example, not making national insurance contributions. The government is looking at changing the rules for them as well. This debate about the new world of work and fairness has only just begun. Kamal Ahmed, BBC News.